What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It's June 16th, about 8 a.m. my time. Prices of Bitcoin currently at 39,000. So it looks like overnight we had this pennant building out. And I told you on the advantage side yesterday that when you see a movement like this, so remember, we were paying attention to a triangle right here, right? Actually, let me draw that better. Something like this. So when we were paying attention to this triangle, we had a count in here that was A, B, C, D, and E, right? And from here, we were hoping that you would get a nice breakout from here. Okay, but what happened was, what we did is this trend line. Okay, so let's get rid of these drawings right here. All right. So what happened was, within the context of this triangle, I told y'all that I really don't like it when prices go up like this and they need a quick retest. And I stated that if we're going to have a retest so fast, then this triangle is more than likely invalid. And this was right here, probably a deviation, or maybe just a short squeeze. So here's kind of how the short squeeze would line up, right? So remember, this was the previous high, okay? Prices ran up real quick, took out these stops, and then boom, rolled over. And now they're rolling over further again. And the good thing is that in this particular area, you have some decent support right around the weekly open, which is basically 39,000 flat. I expect somewhat of a temporary bounce from here, but then we have to see how this key support level, this key SR level is going to hold. Actually, it's more of a zone, right? So it's something like this, I would say. Okay, then we have to see from here how this key resistance level is going to hold. Because if we smash up above this level and hold, it's possible that we can get back towards this high once again, around 40,500 or 40,700. If we get rejected right around this area again, and we come back to the weekly open, then I'm expecting that to break, at the very least, take out this 38,675 low and maybe all the way down to the weekly open. Now, you guys know very well on the advantage side, I have been net short and mostly in cash. Have not really taken that many long positions. There was a couple of positions that I got wrong in this chop, but overall, I'm not giving a whole lot of my profit back to the market. I warned Advantage members in this area how when you're going through a chop in a range like this, you have to be extremely careful not to think that this market is the same as this market as it was back here when we had a trending market. We are in a very complex ranging market, and on top of that, in my opinion, this is definitely a bear trend. There's no doubt about this. You can make the arguments that from here, Bitcoin has to go up, whatever, but this is a bear trend. How do I know that? Because you broke through the 20, the 50, the 100, the 200 moving averages. You put in a classic high, low, high, lower high, first low, lower low. That's the definition of a bear trend. Okay, so it doesn't matter what people say on Twitter and what you want to make yourself feel like you're still in a bull market, but you're not. Until this thing resolves and we see the first significant steps towards this level right here, around 46,000. Why 46,000? Well, because this was the last area where we had basically multiple retests. Okay, so this was previous support, resistance, breaks through, right? Comes through right here, support, nukes right through. We have yet to come back into that area from this range right here. Okay, so when we come back to that area from this range, around 46 to 47K, then we'll decide, can we smash up through this and head further, or do we just get rejected here and then just get sent down further? It's very, very hard to determine. So what I'm waiting for right now is for the market to simply give me a retest. Okay. The area that I want a retest is somewhere around here. All right. This monthly open. If I can get a retest somewhere around this monthly open, I would be very inclined to go long from here, but more specifically in BTC. I don't think I would be really interested in altcoins because I believe that if you look at BTC dominance coming off such a deep low down here, I think the dominance is going to climb. I think Bitcoin prices are going to climb. And I think altcoins are going to move sideways or maybe even down further. And this has actually been my positional bet for the last week or two. And for the most part, I've been telling our Advantage members this. If you're an Advantage member, you know exactly how I've conveyed this message to you in multiple videos, right? If you guys are watching this video for free, you can go to our website, thealphatrades.com, hit the products page right here, and you can join our subscription, our membership. Okay, it's $97 per month, and you can just click this option and you can get all these things. 2 video updates a day for paid members, live Q&A sessions, right? Training materials, all kinds of really great stuff that you get as paid members. All right, so here's our model right here. So I think personally that the next 3 to 6 months are going to be phenomenal for trading, because what you're going to get is some great positioning, not only in Bitcoin, but also in altcoins. And by the way, I don't mean that just as a long and up only market. I mean that as if the market goes down, we are going to get some amazing shorting opportunities. Advantage members already know what I'm shorting. All right, I've been shorting some of these altcoins for a little while. Some of them are doing decent, some of them are doing okay. But that is my overall thesis. I believe altcoins will probably pull back further, or they will just range or slowly grind and bleed down. But Bitcoin, if it's supposed to move up, will probably be the first mover, in which case I want to be long Bitcoin rather than long anything else. Now, there's other things that are developing in the market, which I don't really quite believe in. Like, people will talk about this thing. What if this is a head and shoulders? I don't believe that, to be honest. Okay, I get it. Like, we've dropped a whole lot. But from here, even if BTC drops, I think the last point that it needs to drop is just around like 24, 23,000. If it breaks past that, then we're really, really screwed. And I'm telling you, if you break past that, I don't think that you'll stop at 20K. I really don't think you'll stop at 20K. I think you might bleed maybe into like the 16s and the 18s, maybe even like 15K, because here's the thing. Something that we've followed in the crypto markets for the last several years is the 200 weekly moving average. The 200 weekly moving average currently is around 13,000. So let's just say it drops, I don't know, somewhere in September. Well, where does that put the moving average? Well, this moving average, the 200 moving average, is going to climb like this. Okay. So let's just say we meet this moving average, I don't know, in October or something. Where does that put us? Right here is around $15,000 to $16,000. We've hit this 200 MA multiple times. Like, this thing actually stretched like this before. Okay, so it hit right there, it hit right there. And if we're supposed to hit it again in the next few months, it might hit around this area. But here's the thing. I don't want to think about that, because guess what? We're at 39, 40K. We're pretty far off from needing to think about 20K or 18 or 16. If that time ever comes, we'll deal with that when it comes. For now, we stay in today's date. Okay, we stay in the present. And in the present, what you have is a range. In ranges, you have to be able to look and understand if there has been heavy selling down in this low to warrant a move back up. I think the probabilities are high from here. At the very least, we need to go back and test 45, 46K around this area. and then we'll deal with whatever happens after that. So my positioning right now is just flat in Bitcoin. I own a bunch of spot positions in the market in BTC, but that's really it. Other than that, in the 5K count challenge that we have, right? I'm sure the Advantage members know about this challenge. Basically, what we do is we started off at the beginning of the year with $5,000 in one account, and I grew this account over the days, over the months. So over the last 6 months or so, right? We started in January 1st. It's June 16th. We grew this account to about 16,500. It's been a lot of ups and downs. At one point, we were up to 20K, then pulled back to 10, then went up to 25, pulled back to 12, then went up to almost 30, 35, pulled back to 18. So now we're just sitting at 16 and a half. But guess what? That's still 3x from the beginning of the year that we started, right? So that's pretty good. So I show my trades, my live trades, how I manage my trades with stops, entries, target profits, all that stuff in the 5K account challenge, okay? And that's, again, available for Advantage members, which you can go on our website and sign up. But again, it's not copy trading. I don't provide any financial advice. All I do is show you guys transparency of how I trade, how I analyze the markets, how I'm looking at the markets from a day-to-day, hour-to-hour perspective. So yesterday, one of the interesting things that happened was we had a FOMC meeting. Okay, so the Fed met, and then they probably decided, hey, do we keep this game going, and do we keep letting inflation run hot and asset prices like the stock market and crypto and everything keep going up? But what happened, interestingly, was yesterday, the VIX, which is sort of your fear volatility indicator, it actually popped up. And at the same time, say assets like Tesla pulled down. Tesla, let me see if Apple pulled down. Yeah, Apple closed down for the day slightly yesterday, right? And then we had gold closed down for the day. It's already been on a bit of a downtrend, right? Silver slightly closed down on the day, right there. So point is, when I was seeing the market create the structure, I warned our Advantage members that be careful of what happened in the FOMC meeting, the Fed meeting that happened yesterday morning, because I see gold and silver, growth stocks like Tesla, or even ETFs and indices like the Qs right here. Okay, this is basically your NASDAQ 100 stocks, right? Your top growth and tech stocks. Even that closed down for the day. So I expected BTC to also close down for the day, which yesterday it did. And now we're having a follow-through day of breaking to the downside, right? So now we just wait patiently, wait for our levels. I'm just sitting tight in short positions, right? Some shorts that I'm watching right now, for example, Ethereum. So Ethereum broke out of its descending trend, descending parallel channel, as you guys can see, right? This big parallel channel. It broke outside of it, but it's not able to maintain above this KSR level in this area right here, which is around 2550, right? It keeps wanting to break up, but then break down, right? Over here, it broke up, broke down. So what we need to see from here is this kind of looks like double toppy, right? If that double top holds and follows through, say it breaks this low right here, then we're probably screwed. Then the next target is probably 2100, maybe even 2000 flat. I don't quite know if that's going to happen because I think Ethereum for the most part has been lagging behind a lot of altcoins. So I'm expecting at some point ETH to make its move towards 3000, but again, that could take a while, right? That might happen when Bitcoin does this thing, retest down here, and then it heads back up. In which case, it's entirely possible that Ethereum also hits 2100 and then makes its way all the way up to 3000 or 3100. I mapped out the scenario just yesterday for our members, and I mapped out this range. And I told y'all that really what I'm looking forward to right now is this red scenario. If I get a retest around this monthly open, that's what I'm really looking forward to go long. Because if you're going long now, okay, if you're going long now, where is your stop? Your stop is more than likely down here. If you place your stop just below this low right here, that's kind of silly, right? Like you're probably going to get stopped out before anything. And your first target profit is where? 42,000. And the next one is about 45, 46K. So this stop doesn't make sense. Well, then where's your next stop? Well, it's got to be down here, right? Below this low. Okay. So then where does that put us? First target profit is right there, around 42.5, this previous high. Okay. What's the risk to reward? I'm risking 11% for an 8% gain. That's a pretty terrible trade. Okay. What if I can get all the way to 45, 46K, right around here? Okay. I'm still risking 11% for a 17% gain. All right. Better, but not great. Right. But if I go long here at this monthly open marker and my stop is right there, well, my first target profit right there is a 6.8% loss for a 14% gain. That's still a 2.0 R. And 45K right there is around a 23% gain from here on the way up with a 6.8% loss. That's a 3.38 R trade. See, this is why when you're trading, you have to map out these situations. I show my Advantage members this all the time just to be able to understand what is it that you're risking when you're putting on a trade. You have to know before you enter a trade what your game plan is. Where are your potential stops? How are you sizing up? Where are your target profits? What if your trade is wrong? What are your mitigation strategies? How can you exit? Where can you double down or where can you trim your trade? All these things are critically important. Okay. By the way, folks, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. I take a lot of time to make free videos like this because I think it's particularly helpful for members such as yourselves. You know, those of you who are watching free on YouTube, I know it may be really tough to deal with this kind of bear market, but I'll give you one piece of advice that I think not a lot of people will give you for free. When you have a market that's slowly grinding down and in a bear trend, if you're not an astute trader and you don't know how to deal with these drawdowns, you can either do one of two things. You can go into cash, or you can just hedge a one-to-one short, meaning whatever positions that you have, say your spot positions, say, for example, you have, Bitcoin, one Bitcoin and one ETH. Well, you short one Bitcoin worth and one ETH worth. Okay. If you don't know how to short, you can come join our Advantage community. I show people exactly how I short. Again, not investment advice, but I can let y'all know exactly how I go about trading. Okay. So anyway, I can only do so much for you guys on YouTube because I know I don't make these videos every single day for y'all, right? At the very least, you can join our Discord membership for free. The YouTube link is below, where I really, really encourage you guys to at least try us for a month, 97 per month. Okay. You'll learn a lot. I promise you, you'll learn a lot. And not only that, there's a ton of members in our community from all over the world, all different ages, all walks of life, and all different experience levels that are learning from me and sharing information with each other. Okay. Different time zones, different ages, different professions, different experience levels of trading. So trust me, it makes for an awesome community because everyone learns together, everyone. And it's a lot of fun. And not only that, we don't just trade Bitcoin, right? Of course, we trade altcoins as well. Okay. We have a traditional altcoins channel. We have a DeFi area, and then we have a DEX and NFT area. So let's start discussing altcoins real quick and we'll wrap it up. Okay. So let's start with the biggest altcoin, right? Ethereum. For the most part, Ethereum has been clearly showing you that it is relatively weak, right? It just continuously keeps grinding down further and further. Like I said, unable to break above this KSR level, which is around 2550. Okay. At the same time, I believe that Bitcoin is doing the same thing. The only thing that you need to pay attention to on Bitcoin right now if you want to make your life easier, is this. See that marker right there on a daily basis? This was the last time where this Elon news from here pushed us all the way up here. And guess what? Now Elon is basically at break even in this area, right? Or pretty close to break even. Okay. So if Elon is close to break even and a lot of traders kind of rode this consolidation on the way up, you got to ask yourself, did institutions already take profit? Well, some of them probably did. There's actually 2 institutions that already talked about getting out of the market at significant profit in this area. So you got to ask yourself, what is my thesis for hanging onto my positions? Because right now, if you didn't sell anything up here, obviously you have the mentality of thinking that from here, you have to go up to 60, 70, 100K. And if that's the case, okay, well, then now you got to just wait for this level to be broken, smashed above, and then we'll see how we react to about 45, 48K, this area right here. Okay. That's really all you got to wait for. If you start getting rejected here, then you got to ask yourself, what is my mitigation strategy? How do I protect myself on the way down? I already told you all what I'm doing, sitting mostly in cash and shorting. That's all I'm doing right now because I don't see a lucrative trade in the market to make me money on the long side. Maybe there's some level to level trades that I could take. You know, people talk about, oh, Ethereum is off, 50, 70% from the lows. Yeah, who cares though? It's not in a trending market, right? That would have meant that I would have had to catch the low down here and somehow realize I have to sell here, right? See, this is what I mean. Like when you have markets like this, it's very choppy and very, very tough to trade. Okay. So you have to understand that this kind of market, it's okay to just not trade or just sit in cash. So Ethereum, like I said, sitting below a key level. Okay. Let's discuss some other altcoins. Let's talk about Rune. So Rune is one of the other altcoins that I particularly think is very strong. But again, same thing with Rune, right? Coming into a very, very KSR level, unable to close above it. All right. Just like Bitcoin, just like Ethereum, Rune is sitting at this KSR level. I discussed this market numerous times with our Advantage members, why I believe that in this area, 1035, this $10 range, you should consider taking profit or at the very least hedging shorts. Okay. Again, not investment advice, but I think Rune has to prove that it can get above this marker. Else it might get sent down back to where it's $7 or $8, maybe even lower. Matic, one of my favorite altcoins. Okay. I made a bunch of money in Matic, longing from here, taking some profit up here, holding through here, and then taking some more profit, around $1.50, $1.75 area. All right. So for the most part, Matic, I believe that if it comes back inside this range high right here, $1.53, that's probably my short from here. At the very least, the short first take profit is $1.26. I don't want to go long in Matic unless I see the overall market starting to see a bid across the board, meaning I want to see Bitcoin break out. I want to see Ethereum break out. I want to see other altcoins like Rune and Matic and other DeFi blue chips start to show strength to the upside. Okay. So for the most part, I'm not really bullish on Matic right now. Just like most altcoins, I think it's going to just chop around. I don't know how low it's going to go, but I think it's going to chop around at the very least. Solana, probably the best looking altcoin out of any, but again, still really not looking that great in context of what's happening in Bitcoin and ETH and other altcoins, right? I still think Solana is going to make it back at some point towards this range low between $28 to $31. So keep that in mind in case you want to go long in this area or you want to buy spot. Okay. Now here's the other thing, right? We can make the argument that if prices do come down into this area, what do we do? Well, here's the thing. If you really like Solana and Rune and Matic and Sushi and all these other altcoins, you already have a significant discount. From the highs, Solana is down 35%. If it comes back to this area, it's going to be down 47 to 50%. So what are you going to do there? Are you a buyer? Are you a seller? Are you just going to wait in cash? You're going to see what the market does? Either way, it doesn't matter, right? But if you're bullish for the long term and your horizon is 1, 2, 3 years out, well, you're getting a pretty significant discount in this area for something like Solana. Say, for example, something like Sushi, right? I'm a big fan of Sushi. Okay. I really think it's a very underrated protocol. I'm pretty bullish on it. From its highs back here in March, Sushi is down 63%. You're getting a 63% discount for an amazing DEX, right? Do you want to be a buyer here or do you want to wait? What's your time horizon? What's your thesis on DeFi and DEXs, right? So these are the questions you got to ask yourself. If you're bullish for the long term, right? Do you want to be a buyer here? It's okay if you want to pick up spot, even as the prices bleed down, because here's the other thing, right? If Sushi continues to keep bleeding now further, I'm not going to lie, I really think it's going to land somewhere in this box, which is between $3 and like $2. It could be painful and it could take a while, but it's possible. People don't think that altcoins will ever do what they did in 2018 or 2019, where they bled 70, 80, 90% from their highs. But we are kind of witnessing that right now. Some of these altcoins are already down 60 to 70%, right? Like, let's look at Radium. I used to love Radium and I traded a bunch of times, made a bunch of money. Guess where Radium is now? Okay. Radium is down 75%. Okay. Well, if you want to be a buyer for Radium, what other discount do you want? Right? But just remember, these altcoins can head down further. Okay, so you got to be prepared for that situation too. Don't just go all in and just say, all right, now it's just time to wait. Have an exit strategy. Just realize that maybe the project that you invest in may not be the project that pops up 6 months, 1 year from now. Crypto landscape changes really fast, and it doesn't have to benefit your altcoin that you hold. This is something that I picked up from Barry Silbert that I think is particularly helpful for you guys. Okay. He said that 99% of cryptos are overpriced. And trust me, when someone like Barry Silbert runs a big fund and he's been in the crypto space for 7+ years or 7 or 8+ years, he knows what he's talking about. So this is why I tell y'all to be careful and not think that your altcoin that you own has to go up. Have an exit strategy, have a mitigation plan to know that maybe your altcoin doesn't have to go up after you buy or anytime soon or ever. Maybe stick with something like Bitcoin and ETH. If you really like Solana and you think Solana is a future, there you go. But do some fundamental work. This is the thing that we do in our Advantage community. We do a lot of fundamental research as well. We share information. Everybody in our community shares information about whatever projects that they're interested in, different research papers that they find, whatever YouTube videos or whatever content that they found. We share it amongst each other. And I think that's the great thing about our community. We share all this information of what's happening in price action and everything. Okay. So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. Hit the thumbs up if you like it. Again, join our Advantage membership. Until then, take care. Cheers, everybody, and good luck in the market.